Hi, dear friends, and warm welcome back. It's summertime here in Portugal, so I am recording again from my beautiful garden, and I am so excited to see you here today. If we have never met before, my name is Alina Cristina, and I'm a conscious leadership mentor, a feminine leadership author, and the creator of the Divine Feminine Leadership Framework. For the past 15 years, I've had the privilege of supporting thousands of leaders and hundreds of women around the world in reconnecting with their inner wisdom, confidence, and authentic leadership. And today, in this particular video, I want to speak to you about something that I have quietly noticed affects almost every woman I meet, and I've been part of this situation too. And this topic has highly affected me too in many ways in my life, and I see it impacting so many women across the world. And that is self-worth. Because after years and years of coaching brilliant, capable women, I've realized that the greatest barrier to our next level of growth, of income, and of impact in the world has nothing to do with talent. It's not about how much talent you have. It's not about how much confidence you have. It's not about how much experience you have. It's the unconscious beliefs. The barriers are in the unconscious beliefs that we as women carry about our own value. And the beautiful thing is, once we understand where these beliefs come from, we can begin to transform them. This is why I work in my practice with theta healing, which is a wonderful method of reprogramming our mindset, reprogramming our subconscious beliefs that is similar to hypnosis, just that it acknowledges the divine and the divine energy that lives and breathes through each and every one of us. And so we work from the divine plane and we reprogram our beliefs, releasing the old ones and downloading new healthy ones from the divine plane. And you will get a chance to experience a theta healing session with me live this Sunday. If you're watching at a later date, you can still sign up and you will receive the workshop that I'm speaking about. It's a free workshop that I'm doing this Sunday on the 5th of July. And before I share a little bit more about this free workshop, I want to share with you what I believe are the four main dimensions where a woman's sense of self-worth is shaped across time. The four dimensions. The first dimension is, of course, our childhood and childhood conditioning. And our first lessons about worth begin actually long time before we even enter our first career steps and the first workplaces where we work. As little girls, many of us heard from our parents messages such as, you gotta be a good girl. You gotta be quiet and listen to your parents. You gotta listen to what your mommy and daddy says. Don't make too much noise. Don't disappoint me. Get good grades. Be ambitious. Don't upset anybody. Can you feel the constriction that such ways of being and beliefs that have been ingrained in many of the young girls' mindsets? Can you believe and can you feel actually the deep constriction that creates in our system and in our mind and in our body? Because it shapes how we show up in the world. Even if these messages were shared with a lot of love by our parents, they often taught us that being accepted and pleasing and people pleasing is much more important than expressing who we truly are as women. And so what happens later in life? We hesitate before speaking. We develop sometimes even thyroid conditions. A lot of women in the world have thyroid conditions right now. We second guess ourselves. We avoid conflict. We wait for permission. We go into people pleasing. And so we become very confused because we confused being liked with our true worth. And our true worth has nothing to do with that. And so one of the greatest journeys in feminine leadership, in owning our true worth, is to gently return to the little girl within us and to remind her, honey, your voice matters. Who you are matters. I'm even getting chills as I share this all throughout my body because it's so true. So this was the first dimension, childhood patterning. Let me talk to you right now about the second dimension that affects our self-worth, and that is ancestral patterns. This is the second layer, and it goes very deep. Whether you see this through psychology, through family systems, or through your own way of connecting to spirituality, it's undoubtedly felt that there's both ancestral blessings and ancestral burdens that we inherit, that we carry onwards in our lives. Think about your mother, think about your grandmothers, both on your mom and dad's side. How many opportunities, real opportunities, did they actually have in their lives? Were they encouraged to lead, to take a step forward, and to dream boldly? Were they encouraged to own their own businesses? Were they encouraged to express themselves freely? Or were they taught to sacrifice, to put the well-being of the family and of the household beyond their own? Were they encouraged to remain silent, maybe, and to put everyone else's needs above their own? So sometimes I will tell you this, what we call self-doubt isn't even entirely ours. Sometimes you're carrying beliefs that have traveled down through DNA, through generations. It's often said that we carry the DNA of 7 generations of women before us. And our DNA will be passed on for those women who have children to 7 generations after us. So when we do this deep inner work around our self-worth, that gets to impact the future of the generations to come. And so this is one of the greatest gifts we can offer our children and future generations. It is to lovingly interrupt the unhealthy patterns when it comes to our self-worth and our worthiness as women. And now I'll slowly move into the third dimension that impacts our self-worth as women. And some of you may have guessed it, I'm talking about society. That's the third dimension, societal beliefs. So we have childhood beliefs, we have ancestral beliefs, and we have societal beliefs. And these societal beliefs refer to the society we grew up in and the country and the culture we grew up in. And also, if we look back into the history of humanity up to this day, what is undeniable is that in a lot of countries around the world, the right to vote, the right to own property, and the right to even have a job and to work has only been granted to women around 60, 70, and in some countries 80, almost, let's say, in other countries, up to a century back. But beyond the past 100 years, women had no rights when it comes to property, legal rights, political rights, work-related rights. And they, in most cases, were the property of their husbands and of their families. And so I say this with a lot of pain in my heart. We are at a stage in the history of humanity where we are overcoming and healing as women. We are healing centuries and millennia of actually not having a voice, not having a say in the future of the world and how the world is shaped. And so when I spoke at Oxford earlier this year, I had a brief talk in Oxford at the Oxford Said Business School earlier this year, and I will put a link to it in the comments. I spoke on wholeness in leadership and how we need to invite the feminine energy and the feminine leadership principles back into our lives. And the feminine leadership principles are not always about what we think. They're not always about being more productive, pushing through, and execution and logic. They have to do with slowing down, with really recognizing what is valuable for us and nourishing for us and the world around us. And they have to do with actually creating a future that is sustainable rather than extractive. And so our generation of women is not only building careers, we are rewriting, and again, I get chills as I say this, we are rewriting centuries of conditioning around women and the feminine voice. And that, my loves, takes a lot of courage and a lot of reprogramming and a lot of letting go of what no longer serves us. And so, if you have ever wondered why it's so hard for you to speak up sometimes, to share your voice, to be visible as a woman, please know this, that there is a much larger historical context at play. And at the same time, that shouldn't be a block, a stumbling block for you to move forward. It is actually an impulse, a further, I would say, motivation, given all the freedoms that we're enjoying in this century and day and age. It's even more of a motivation for you to break through that ceiling wall and to determine and impact positively the future of the generations that are to come beyond you. And so I'm going to move now to the fourth dimension that influences our self-worth as women, and that is our own inner dialogue. Yes, you heard it well. Our own inner dialogue, that little voice that creeps up inside of our head sometimes, and I love to call it our inner critic. And we all have it, whether we're men or women, we all have this little inner critic in our mind. And that inner voice usually says, I'm not ready. I gotta study more. I'll wait to post something until I'm perfect. Or someone else actually knows this way better than I do, so who am I to speak about this? Or what if I fail? Have you found yourself ever in some of these beliefs? Or even, what will people think? This used to be one of my foundational fears. What will people think when I come forth with all of my knowledge, all of my gifts, and my deep all of the deep research and studies and wisdom and experience that I've accumulated over the years? Well, if you've ever found yourself in this situation, just know that that is the voice of your inner critic, and it's not the voice of your authentic self, your authentic higher self, and the wisdom of your soul. And the solution to that, and I will probably create some other workshops in the future connected to this. The solution to that is to learn to cultivate and to listen to the voice of your higher self, the voice of your soul, and to learn to discern, first of all, between the voice of your inner critic and the voice of your soul, the voice of your higher self. But just know this for now, that when that voice of the inner critic comes up and you mistake it for truth, remember that it isn't. It isn't true. It's simply a story. And as any story, stories can be rewritten. And so, with that said, now you've become familiar with the four dimensions that impact our self-worth. How incentivizing is that for you to actually come join me and participate in this beautiful free workshop? called Claim Your Self-Worth for Higher Impact. Because in this workshop, I will include very special practices to help you rewrite your limiting beliefs around self-worth that impact all of these four dimensions. So, claim your self-worth for higher impact isn't simply a workshop about confidence. It's an invitation. My wish and my dream and my intention is for you, through this workshop, to remember who you really are. The fearless, beautiful, authentic, divine leader that you are. During our time together in this workshop, you'll experience 4 deeply transformational practices. So the first practice I will carry you through is the self-worth leadership audit, where you'll identify some hidden patterns that have been lurking around and influencing your confidence and visibility and leadership for years, if not decades. Number 2, I'll carry you through a practice to release and rewrite your own inner narrative, helping you uncover and transform subconscious beliefs that no longer serve you. Number 3, I'll help you connect to your future self. This is one of my very, very, very favorite practices. It's a beautiful guided visualization and journaling practice that connects you with your most confident, impactful, amazing goddess woman that you are becoming and that you are here to truly be. And finally, we'll also conclude with my very own signature, powerful live theta healing sessions. So you'll experience a live theta healing session with me, designed to help you release any stagnant remaining limiting beliefs around worthiness, visibility, and being fully seen. And so my hope for you, my loves, is that you will leave from this workshop not only inspired, but transformed, lighter, clearer, more grounded, and more deeply connected to your own voice, to your own worth, and to who you're becoming. It is such a deeply nourishing experience. I invite you to save 2 hours. And even if you're watching this video at a later date, please do sign up, because you will receive the replay and it will be so deeply nourishing and empowering for you. And if you can join us live, this masterclass takes place on Sunday, this Sunday, 5th of July at 6 p.m. London, Lisbon time, or that is the equivalent of 10 a.m. San Francisco, LA time. So that's Pacific time, 10 a.m. It will be live on Zoom, and you will receive the Zoom link once you sign up on the website. And it will be live because I want the experience to remain and live on Zoom. I want the experience to remain as beautiful and as nourishing as possible. And therefore, places for the live workshop are limited. So if you'd love to join us, you'll find the registration link somewhere in the description of this video, and I would be so honored to welcome you. So, if this video spoke to your heart, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Please share what most impacted you, maybe from the 4 dimensions that I was speaking about that impact our self-worth as women. Tell me which of the 4 dimensions has shaped your self-worth the most so far, or that you feel has shaped you in the way you are right now the most. And so I would love to thank by saying thank you. Thank you for being here once again. And remember this, the world doesn't need you to become someone else. It needs you as who you really are, the powerful, awesome, amazing goddess that you are. And it needs you to remember who you have always been. So until next time, I will see you very soon. And I am sending you much, much love and blessings.